All right, let's get right into it. For years, Jeffrey Epstein's private island, Little St. James, was just completely shrouded in mystery. But what was actually there? Well, using all the available data and footage, we put together a virtual reconstruction. We're going to take a tour and try to really understand the layout and maybe some of the secrets of this infamous place.
And that really is the question, isn't it? This island was, well, it was clearly designed with a dual purpose. So as we go through this, we're going to peel back the layers and see what was really lying just beneath the surface of this so-called tropical paradise.
So, to really get a handle on how this island operated, we've broken down our virtual tour into three main sections. We're going to move from the outside in. And hopefully, this will help us piece together the story of how this place was built and what it was truly designed for. We're going to start right where a guest would, at the shoreline and all those fancy guest areas. Then, we'll move a little deeper into the main residential complex. And finally, we'll explore the hidden service core, the engine room that made the whole operation tick. You see, the entire northern part of the island was meticulously designed to do one thing and one thing only: impress people. This was the public face of Little St. James, a world of pure luxury and relaxation, all built to welcome Epstein's powerful visitors. So guests would arrive in one of two ways. Most came by sea, docking at this dedicated jetty that even had a nice covered waiting area. Others flew in, landing on a pretty simple grassy helipad with a couple of small shelters for people and their bags. The whole thing was designed to be efficient and, of course, very private. Now, the crown jewel, the real showstopper for any guest, was the main house. And what's kind of interesting is that the original building was already there when Epstein bought the island way back in 1998. He just completely remodeled it, turning it into the centerpiece of this huge complex with a grand, beautiful veranda facing the sea. And right off the back of that main house, you walk out onto a truly massive pool complex. I mean, this was clearly the social hub of the island. It had a gigantic swimming pool, multiple cabanas, a pergola, and at the far end, that very distinctive statue of a seated archer. And here's a curious little detail that actually fooled a lot of people for a while. Right in front of that archer statue was this huge painted compass on the ground. Because of its size and design, a lot of people looking at aerial photos thought it was a second helipad. But nope, it was just for decoration. But even here, in this bright, open main entertainment space, there were already hints of something more. You see, parts of this pool complex were actually 2 stories high, with these complex staircases and hidden doors that led down to lower levels, connecting it to other residences. And this next part just perfectly illustrates the strange character of the whole island. Near the pool complex, there was a guest residence with this wide stone patio looking out at the ocean. And embedded right into the floor were these weird designs: 2 shells, mirrored, and the letter E. Which, of course, makes you ask the question, was this just some eccentric, weird decoration, or was there a deeper, more symbolic meaning for putting these specific designs permanently into the stone for all the guests to see? Okay, so we've seen the glitzy part. Now let's go behind the curtain. As we venture away from the shoreline and deeper into the island's center, the entire philosophy of the place just changes completely. The focus shifts dramatically from luxury to pure function and from openness to total control. So that's really the crucial point here. The island had 2 totally distinct faces. The one that visitors saw was all about opulence and wide open spaces. But the real core, that was all about self-sufficiency, secrecy, and having complete control over the entire environment. Tucked away in some dense trees, we find our first real clue to this hidden side: a low-slung building specifically designed to be almost invisible. To this day, we're still not sure what its purpose was, but the fact that it was so carefully concealed is a key part of the island's other hidden personality. Nearby was the island's true engine room. This was the main service area, and it housed all the machinery that made the whole place run completely independently. It had a desalination plant for fresh water, powerful generators for all the electricity, huge storage rooms, and even its own sewage management systems. This island was completely off the grid. And here's how they kept it all hidden. A lot of these essential service buildings weren't just placed among the trees, they were literally built into the hillside.
Their flat, reinforced roofs were then disguised to look just like simple parking pads from above, totally concealing the massive rooms that were right underneath. And this brings us to the final part of our tour, where we find the features of the island that are, well, they're the most bizarre, and they pretty much defy any simple explanation. These are the elements that leave us with the biggest, most profound, unanswered questions. Right near the helipad, where guests would get their first or last look at the island, stands this total anomaly, a giant statue of a monkey, just inexplicably sitting at the top of a grassy slope. No context, no clear purpose, it's just there. And right next to that statue is maybe the island's most infamous feature of all. It's a stone staircase that climbs partway up the hill and then just stops. It leads absolutely nowhere, which is why it earned the name These Stairs to Nowhere. But all this strange stuff on the surface might just hint at what was hidden below. You see, drone footage eventually confirmed what a lot of people suspected all along. It captured clear images of doors built directly into the hillside, absolute proof of extensive spaces carved out underground. And so we end up right back where we started, with a question. This whole island was designed with layers upon layers of secrecy, from hidden doors in the pool complex to entire buildings literally buried in the hills. It just leaves you to wonder, what exactly could have been so important that it had to be hidden so deep beneath the surface?